AMN DriveTime is sponsored by Aishin, your trusted and reliable source for aftermarket automotive components and technology. Visit AishinAftermarket.com for more information.
Danny, welcome to AMN DriveTime, sponsored by our good friends at Aishin.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Bill. Thank you. Excited to be here.
So this is AMN DriveTime on the road because we are in Vegas for a part of the NAPA Now conference. It's the middle of April, and you've been here for a few days. How's the conference going for you guys?
Yeah, conference is going great. We had our tool school at the beginning, so came in on the weekend, had all of our T&E folks, suppliers, representatives, breakout sessions, launching our new Carlyle Tool program. Really, really good event. It was our highest attended event ever. And then now we led right into our NAPA Now conference, which is a 100-year celebration. It's also a big training opportunity for our suppliers, our auto care centers, and our independent store owners.
Yeah, it's got a good vibe. We've been here for about 24 hours, good vibe.
It's great.
So, Danny, for the benefit of our AMN audience, why don't you walk us through your career?
Sure.
How you got to NAPA, and what you do at NAPA.
No, glad to. So, I actually started my career off a couple years in outside sales after college. Learned a lot about the customer, how to meet customer needs. Went back to grad school, got a business degree, and then actually decided to go into a family business. My dad started a business in the late 70s, remanufacturing x-ray equipment, building specialty support systems, and so decided to go back into that business. Had a great run, a lot of growth, really digitizing, got into digital imaging, things of that nature. And then when the economy crashed, 2007, the housing market, it was really tough. Our customers couldn't get finance for their equipment. So at that point, folks decided to retire. We sold the business, and I moved to Atlanta to pursue a corporate career.
Okay. Yeah. And so how long have you been with NAPA?
I've been with NAPA for 3.5 years.
Okay.
So before NAPA, coming to Atlanta, I was at Georgia Pacific, where I did category management on the manufacturing side. And then I was at HD Supply for 6 years, where I did retail, distribution, merchandising.
Home Depot Supply?
Home Depot, HD Supply, So the kind of the B2B version of Home Depot.
Sure.
And then got an opportunity to come over to NAPA in October of 2021.
Okay.
First role was leading the kind of the hard parts categories, the repair categories. Last year, got an opportunity to take on the tools and the commodities categories and really bring one category management team together. And then just last week, got an opportunity to take over the marketing team.
Great, so you're kind of an equipment guy and a tool guy.
Yeah.
All right. So talk to us about how Carlyle Tool is being reimagined and what value-added attributes make this line especially appealing to the professional buyer, the professional technician.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Carlyle Tool program has been around for a while.
Yep.
But we realized that it was time to really innovate and disrupt the market with this for lots of reasons. We all know there's a technician shortage in the industry. We're making a lot of investments in the training schools and the technical schools. But really, when we look at these new technicians that are coming through, Gen Z, there's a 56% of Gen Z folks believe that a skills-based career is the right choice for them. So that's a big increase.
50%.
Yep, 56%. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So we see that trend coming, and so we're actually building not just a tool strategy, but a technician strategy. So we stepped back and decided it was time to reimagine this line and position this line for the young Gen Z technician as we see these changes in the marketplace. So we stepped back. It was a 3-year project, heavy market research. How do we understand the customer? That was the first thing. And so it's the technician. What do they care about? What do they value? What do they want to see in their tools? And that's how the Carlyle Tool brand came to life. So you see this unique color. We call it Venom Green. A lot of old school NAPA folks get a little uncomfortable when we start talking about that. But that was, all of our market research, that was the color that really appealed to these technicians. And so we look at the branding, the way we call out the tools. We have our tool trailer, we call it the Outlaw. It's really this whole theme around the independence and the built different approach of these young technicians. And so when we think about built different, it's not just a marketing slogan. It's really how we've reimagined our tools. So we've gone in and started with a blank slate and looked at the technicians, did research with technicians. How can we make these tools better? How can we make them work better for them? Couple of examples on our hand tools. How do we get our hand tools into tighter spaces? So our ratchets now have 90 tooth applications, so in tighter spaces, it's easier to get a hold of the bolt. We've also created a 4-degree swivel. When they go in, it allows them to get into tighter places and turn the ratchet. That's just one example. Another one is air compressors, or compressed air. We went from a cast iron to an aluminum housing. That's allowed us to create cooler air. That's allowed us to reduce the number of pumps in the compressor, and that creates longer life and more efficiency in the compressor. And so really, when you think built different, it's about the approach and the customer from a branding standpoint, but it's also in our innovation and how we've reimagined our tools.
We had a chance to visit that booth yesterday, and the Venom Green, and what do you call the black?
The Midnight Oil.
Midnight Oil,
Yeah.
right? It's very un-NAPA-esque.
100%. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And everybody's got the fancy tennis shoes on too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have a pair back in my room. I had them on the other day.
Yeah, it's pretty slick.
Yeah, the team's done an excellent job with this branding effort. They've really put a lot of work into it. We put a lot of resources against it because we see this as a tipping point in the market. We are looking to come with something that this generation is looking for. We've got financing for these folks through a firm. It's easy to finance. This generation, they're all on their phone. They can do it right from their phone. We're making it easier for them. We want to get them into the Carlyle Tool line at a young age so we can be with them throughout their career as they continue on their journey.
Yeah, so with these young techs, it's a great value proposition too, the way you're taking it to them. Is that a fair statement?
No, absolutely.
High quality, but reasonably priced. Is that accurately stated?
That's 100% accurate. So if you look at the quality compared to the professional tool lines on the market, our pricing is more competitive. Our tool quality is at or above, and we've got lots of validated testing that we show the quality of our tools. And then the financing program is really attractive, and really we've gotten aggressive with our financing because we want to get these folks the best tools, and we want to get them out of the gate in their careers with attractive financing that allows them to get started.
Right, because we're talking earlier, a tech can spend $100,000 in a career, and even like 25, 30 grand to get started just on tools, right?
That's
are
right.
Those numbers right?
Those are exactly right.
Those are big numbers.
Big numbers. And so we want to make it cost effective for them to get started, and then be there for them as they grow throughout their career.
So Danny, what emerging technology do you see offering the most opportunities for the aftermarket? And in what categories do you see NAPA fulfilling the need for new products for the new technology?
Yeah, great question. So really the one that comes to mind is ADAS. So advanced driver assistance systems. Yep. So 40% of the cars on the road today have those. In the next 5 years, it'll be half. So half the cars on the road today. And ADAS allows a lot of shops, a lot of independent repair shops haven't made the transition to get into servicing ADAS. A lot of times they'll outsource it to another shop or to a dealer, and they're really missing out on a big opportunity for revenue. So you look at a tire change or a wheel alignment job, anything with the chassis, you have to recalibrate the ADAS systems. So they need the equipment to do that. And so we've got programs that allow them to get in, not just with their alignment, with the ADAS program as well. And some of our new lines coming out, one of the biggest challenges to ADAS is space. These shops are small. It takes space to calibrate the equipment.
May I ask you a question about that? Not to interrupt you.
No, that's great.
Recently, or maybe in the last year or so, they say you need a special room with a flat floor and white walls and a whole thing. It's a big brick and mortar investment. Is it still that way?
No, we've got new products that are coming out now that allow you only need between two by three space to set this up, and you can actually turn the vehicle, you can reposition the vehicle to complete the entire ADAS alignment.
So you don't need a bunch of new brick and mortar
correct.
to be able to do
That's
that.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yep.
Go ahead. I interrupted you.
No,
there a
that's
bit.
really it. I mean, this is a space, people talk about EV. Obviously, that's a big buzzword, but
Sure.
I mean, it's 2% of the car park,
Sure.
right? We don't know how big it's going to be, but ADAS is here now.
Yeah.
And if shops aren't making the investment that they need to do this job, they're really missing out on a lot of opportunity.
Sure. So you sell paint, of course,
Yes.
to the collision market.
That's
Is
right.
a lot of ADAS action at the body shop
Absolutely.
as well?
Absolutely.
And are they doing it, or are they sending it to the independent repair shop? Are they doing it themselves?
It's a little bit of both. It's really whoever's made the investment in the equipment.
Right.
And same thing with the collision centers. They make the investment, they can recalibrate that. That's their revenue. They're not outsourcing it.
But the independent repair shop is doing that as well as the collision shop.
That's correct. Other innovations that we look at, so ADAS is one, but really when we look at innovation, we look at our whole goal. We're focused on the repair shop environment. We have some DIY business, but DIFM is our primary market.
Sure, yeah.
And so the products we look at products that can reduce the time to install and are high quality and reduce comebacks, right? Because shops want to turn their bays and they don't want the cars coming back.
Yep.
And so the innovations that the companies we're working with, we're looking at innovations that will speed up that install. A lot of OE parts are manufactured to be installed on an assembly line.
Yes.
And a lot of them are lightweighted because of EPA regulations that have happened over the last few years.
Sure.
So you've got parts that are made to go on a line, and they're really not durable because of they're lightweighted for the EPA regulations. So what we're doing with our suppliers is coming out with products that are much easier to install in a repair shop environment, and they last longer, so they don't get those comebacks.
It's really interesting because the aftermarket got started way back when with a theme of better than OE. That was the premise of the aftermarket. And now oftentimes you'll see aftermarket advertised as good as OE, right? And now I think we're kind of going back to the roots. It's better than OE is what I think I'm hearing you say.
In a lot of cases, that's right. I mean, we obviously want to meet OE specifications on the products that we're installing, but if we can do kits, assemblies, we've got products that come with tools built into the box. Anything we can do to make that installation easier on that technician, that allows them to turn the bay, they charge for the same job, and they can get another car in there. I equate it, it's such a basic analogy, but I equate it to waiting tables. I waited tables when I was in college. If you can turn your tables in a night and you can get 4 tables versus 3, well, you're making more money. Same thing with the bays in the garage.
Yeah, and the worst thing they get is a comeback.
A comeback's the worst.
It's the worst thing. So you got to have the right part at the right time and the right quality and installed correctly, right?
And that's it.
And
that's exactly
magic.
right. That is the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny, talk to me about how NAPA prioritizes innovation in its product and category management strategy to meet the customer's needs. You've talked about that a little bit, but maybe expand there.
Yeah, I think that's really it. That was the main point. I think I skipped ahead of your question there a little bit, but that's really it. We're constantly, so my team, we have KPIs just for my category management team. We're doing 10 field visits a year, and we have to be in repair shops to do that. So we're literally going into the shops, watching how these repair technicians work, and we're taking our supplier partners and we're figuring out, okay, how can we make this better? How can we make their operation flow more easily? So it's really operational efficiency as well as quality inside of our products.
Sure. That's interesting about you putting tools in the box with the parts. That's really clever, right?
Yeah.
So Danny, you've got quite a bit of experience in category management. And NAPA's made some changes in recent years with category management. For the benefit of our audience, why don't you tell us what NAPA's doing and in an innovative way with category management?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. It's been a fun journey, honestly, to come in with the experience and really totally change our category management program at NAPA. I think historically we had really not enough resources in category management, and the folks we had were really good tacticians and technicians, knew the industry well, but hadn't experienced a lot of category management and merchandising discipline. So what we've really brought in, we've really helped develop the talent that we had in place, and we've brought in talent from outside. We've actually doubled the size of our category management team in the last 3 years. Getting the team in place was the first step, getting the folks in the right position. and then building the process. And so really some things we've added is our category strategies. We have a very disciplined category strategy process, and that's actually led at the category manager level. So the category managers, in support with their associate managers, will develop a strategy for a certain product line or a subcategory from all the way around the wheel. So if you think about the customer being in mind, so they look at assortment, pricing, inventory, marketing, sales execution, and they build these strategies from the ground up. It includes a big assortment component, and those strategies are pressure tested within the organization. Their directors will review those, and when they're ready, I do a review and a final sign-off and challenge, and then that's what we go execute in the marketplace. And that's supported by a product line review schedule that we've established with our top suppliers. So each year going into budgeting season, we do a full product line review with our suppliers. We develop our strategies for that supplier for the year. We use that to feed our budget planning process. And then going into Apex, we finalize our strategies. We launch them in the beginning of the year. We come back at the supplier partnership event that we hold, and we review those strategies. So we have 3 review cycles in the year within the strategy. So we're doing 3 of those, and that's a capability and a discipline that we've built over the last 2 years, and we're really starting to see the success and the growth. We also established, I'm a big fan of branding and making things simple, like we talked about earlier. We really established our strategy with NAPA, and we call it 4PT. So it's the 4 Ps of marketing: product, price, place, and promotion, and training. And everything we do each and every day within category management falls in one of those 5 buckets. And so that's what we constantly pull those levers, and that's constantly where we focus with our suppliers to get better in each one of those elements. And that has driven a lot of the success that we're starting to see.
So Danny, it is tradition on AMN DriveTime to do something called lightning round.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you a question, and you're just going to give me an answer off the top of your head. You ready?
All right, I'm ready.
You sure?
I think so.
Okay. Tell us an interesting fact that most people may not know about Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America.
Oh, wow. An interesting fact.
Because you're involved there, right?
I was. So I actually had, well, I'll tell you a story. I think one of the most interesting facts is that people think, oh, it's just a short-term engagement inside the kid's life. So I actually had a little brother through that program in 2013. He was in 8th grade. We met, stayed very, very close, worked closely with him, got him into he was in a bad home, got him into a program in Nebraska where he went to high school, have stayed connected, helped him as he applied for college. He graduated college. I spoke at his wedding last summer.
Oh my gosh.
And we meet every month and have dinner and talk about his life, talk about his career, talk about all these things. And so I think the fact that a lot of people don't understand is that it's not just a short period of time where folks are engaged. You build lifelong relationships that are lasting. And honestly, for me, as much good as my little brother, got from that experience, the fulfillment and joy and the good that I've gotten out of it is just as much.
Fantastic. So you said it went back to 2013, so it's 12 years ago, and you spoke at his wedding. That's really a special thing, huh?
Yeah, it was great.
That's really cool. So share an accomplishment, and we may have just heard it, outside of work that you're particularly proud of.
Well, I'm probably most proud of that accomplishment, just because of how meaningful it's been.
Sure.
I think I'm also proud of going into my family business that was a small business. It was something growing up that I didn't think I would do, but I'm proud that I went in and worked with my folks and helped them grow their business. And what's amazing is I went into it thinking I was helping them out, and that experience set me up for the success I've had in my corporate career.
Oh, that's fantastic. Last question. What is a very important interpersonal skill in your opinion?
Very important interpersonal skill?
Yeah.
Oh, communication. You can have the best knowledge, skills, vision, but if you can't communicate it appropriately to the right audience, then you're not going to be able to execute and reach your goals.
Right.
You have to understand the audience. You have to make it simple enough for people to understand, and like you create a vision, make it simple enough for people to understand, and make it clear how they have to go execute. I think that's something I'm constantly working on. I think leaders at NAPA are doing the same, but I think that skill, especially when you get in a leadership position, is critical.
Right. Danny, great to have you on AMN Drive Time, sponsored by our friends at Aishin.
Thank you very much. I've really enjoyed it.